Hello Year 6. For maths this week we're going to be looking at converting between different units of measure. Before we go into the main part of our lesson though, just like we do in school, we've got 6 questions on the screen for you to have a go at. If you want to stretch yourself this morning and have a go at the extra 2 questions, you can, but those are completely optional. So what I'm going to ask you to do first of all is to pause the video now and have a go at those 6 questions. If there's any you're unsure about, don't worry about it because I will go through the answers and how to solve them afterwards. Okay, hopefully you've had the opportunity to have a go at those questions then. Starting with question 1, we've got 6 times 34. The easiest way to do that would be to set it out as a short multiplication, and hopefully you got the answer 204 for that one. For question number 2, we've got something. Take away 100 gives us the answer 995. So the answer to that question is 1095. Now the most common mistake that I think children would have made with that question is you would have done, maybe you'd done 995 take away 100, but that's not what the question's asking. It's saying something, you've got a number and then you take away 100 from it, gives you 995. So what you need to find is 100 more than 995. Okay, question 3, 4.2 times by 100. Hopefully you've remembered that to times a number by 100 you need to move the digits 2 places. And remember, you're moving the digits 2 places because 100 has 2 zeros. So if I take 4.2 and I move each of those digits 2 places, my 4 at the moment is in my ones column. If I move it 1 place, it ends up in my tens column. If I move it 2 places, it ends up in my hundreds column. My 2 ends up in my tens column, and then I need a placeholder 0 in my ones column. So the answer is 420. Next question, very similar. This time I've got 0.7 divided by 10. To divide a number by 10, I move the digits 1 place, but this time I'm making it smaller. So instead of going 1 place to the left, I'm going to move the digits 1 place to the right. So I've got 0.7, and I'm going to move my 7 1 place to the right. I'll use my 0 1 place to the right, and I also need a placeholder 0 there. So my answer is 0.07. Okay, for my next question, I'm adding fractions. I've got 3/4 and 4/5. The golden rule when adding fractions is you've got to find a common denominator. So here I want a number that is in the 4 times table that is also in the 5 times table. So the easiest common denominator to go for here would be 20. So my original question, I'm just going to write it out again so I've got a bit more space, was 3/4 add 4/5. Okay, I want to write that out so that my denominators are 20. So I've got to ask myself, what do I times 4 by to give me the answer 20? Well, I've got to times it by 5, so I've times the bottom by 5. So I must do the same to the top. So 3 times 5 on the top gives me 15/20. Then on the other side, I've got to go, what do I times 5 by to get 20? This time I've times by 4 on the bottom, so I've got to times by 4 on the top, which gives me 16/20. So I've got 15/20 add 16/20, which gives me 31/20. Or you might have put the answer 1 whole 1 and 11/20. Either one of those is completely fine. So 31/20 or 1 whole and 11/20. Okay, question 6, exactly the same as question 5. I've got to find the common denominator. Now, again, I'm going to go for that common denominator of 20. So this question, I've just got a bit of space underneath, so I'm going to do it here. So again, I'm going to write those fractions out underneath, each with a common denominator of 20. So I've got So what do I times 5 by to give me the 20 on the bottom? I times it by 4, so I do the same on the top. What do I times 4 by to give me a denominator of 20? I'm timesing it by 5, so I need to do the same on the top. What do I times by 10 by to give me 20? This time I'm timesing it by 2, so I do the same on the top. And then I've got 4 20ths, add 5 20ths, add 7 20ths. So 4 add 5 is 7, add my 2 gives me 9 20ths for question 6. Okay, the stretch questions. Question 1, you should have got the answer 326,162. And question 2, you should have got the answer 85. Okay, again, just like we do in school, we have got a bit of times table practice for you. This time it's all mixed times tables, so I'd like you to pause the video now, and this time I would like you to give yourself a minute and see how many times tables you can get through in the minute. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at your times tables then, Year 6. We're going to move into the main part of our lesson. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, our lesson today is going to be on solving problems involving mass. Now, mass means essentially weight. So we're talking about grams and kilograms today. Now, down in my keys to success box down here, I've got a little reminder for you that there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Okay, and so if I want to convert something from grams into kilograms, then I need to divide the digits by 1,000 or move them 3 places to the right. If I want to go from kilograms, so something gives the weight in kilograms, but I want to know its weight in grams, then I need to multiply the digits by 1,000, so move the digits 3 places to the left. So first of all, I'm going to think of, I'm going to say 1,200 grams. 1,200 grams. So I've been given something in grams, but now I want to convert it to kilograms. So what does that equal in kilograms? That's what I'm thinking about now. 1,200 grams, what does it equal in kilograms? So I need to divide by 1,000 and move the digits 3 places to the right. So I've got 1,200 and I want to move those digits 3 places to the right. So sometimes it helps to put the decimal point in at this point, and then I'm moving my digits. So that 1 is going to move, it's in the thousands column at the moment. Move it 1 place, it ends up in the hundreds column. 2 places, it ends up in the tens column. But 3 places, it ends up in my ones column. The 2, I'm going to move it 3 places as well. And my zeros, I can move as well. So I end up with 1.200. Remember, any zeros that come after the decimal point are not important, so we could forget about those. So 1,200 grams equals 1.2 kilograms. Okay. Following my keys to success, I was going from grams to kilograms, so I moved the digits 3 places to the right. Okay, going to have a go at another question now, this time doing it the other way round. So this time I'm going to have a question that's in kilograms, and I'm going to change it into grams. So I'm going to go 3.5 kilograms, and I want to know what that equals in grams. So I've got 3.5 kilograms. Okay, and when I'm converting to grams, I've got to multiply by 1,000. So remember, multiplying something by 1,000, you move 3 places to the left. So my 3 at the moment is in my ones column. Move it 1 place, it's in my tens column. 2 places, it's in my hundreds column. Or 3 places, it ends up in my thousands column. Do the same with my 5. But then I've got this gap here. Well, I can't have a gap, so I've got to put 2 placeholder zeros in there. So 3.5 kilograms is 3,500 grams. Okay, first task for you to have a go at yourselves then this morning, Year 6, is to have a go at the fluency questions. So there are 6 questions there, each converting from either grams to kilograms or kilograms to grams. So I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go at those 6 questions. Okay, hopefully you've had the opportunity to have a try at those 6 questions. We'll just go through the answers now for you then. So the first question, 750 grams in kilograms is 0.75 kilograms. Question 2, we've got 1,250 grams. Convert it to kilograms is 1.25 kilograms. Question 3, we've got 2,500 grams, which is 2.5 kilograms. Question 4, 0.7 kilograms is 750 grams. Question 5, 1.5 kilograms is 1,500 grams. And question 6, 2.25 kilograms is 2,250 grams. Okay, the next thing for us to have a look at this morning then is looking at scales. So the other thing when we're looking at mass or weight of something is to look at scales and think about how we read scales. Again, we've got some keys to success here. So you need to look at the scales, and the first trick is to work out what they are counting up in. So here I'm looking at my 0 and I've got my 100. I'm going to count the steps between 0 and 100. So I don't count the actual step that the 0 is on, but I count each step after that. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to go, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do count the one with the 100 on. There are 5 steps. So to work out what each of those steps is worth, I need to take the number, which in this case is 100, okay, and I'm going to divide 100 by 5. 100 divided by 5, if we don't know the answer to that, can do a little bus stop and find out. Some of you will know already. 5 into 10 goes 0. Sorry, 5 into 1 goes 0. 5 into 10 is 2. 5 into 0 is 0. So 20. Each little step there is 20. So this would be 20 grams, 40 grams, 60 grams, 80 grams, 100 grams. So I'm working out what the scales are going up in. The next scale, I'm going to have a look at this one. This time it's going up, it's in kilograms. And I've got a 0 and I've got a 1 here. So I need to count the steps again, first of all. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps. So it goes up by 1, but in 10 steps. So I need to do 1 divided by 10. So I've got 1 whole 1, which is how many it goes up in total by, divided by the number of steps, which is 10. So 1 divided by 10. How many 10s go into 1? None. Put a decimal place in, put a decimal place in. How many 10s go into 10? Well, it's 1. So each one of these little steps is worth 0.1. So then if I'm counting up, I've got 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1 kilogram. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video now, and I'd like you to try and work out what each of these final 2 scales are going up in. So have a little pause of the video and see if you can work out what they're going up in. Okay, so this first scale here then, we've got 0 and we've got 200. If you counted the steps, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in between 0 and 200. So we had to do 200 divided by 4, which tells us each little bit of the scale is worth 50. So if I'm counting up, it'd be 0, 50, 100, 150, 200. Okay, with this next scale, if you count the steps, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 steps between 0 and 200, and hopefully you realise exactly the same again. This time it's going up in 50s again. 50, 100, 150, 200. Okay, we have got some questions then for you to have a go at involving scale. So there are 2 questions on the screen now. Doing exactly what we've just looked at. Again, I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can work out the answers to these 2 questions. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at these then. So this scale shows the weight of Fred's cat. What is the weight of Fred's cat? Well, we've got this time the scale's in kilograms. We've got to look at the difference between 4 and 5 kilograms. So let's count up the points on the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 1 kilogram divided by 5, which will give us 200 grams each. So each little point on the scale is either 200 grams or 0.2. So we can see that Fred's cat is 4.4 kilograms. Okay, if you wrote that in grams, if you preferred to do it in grams, you might have written 4,400 grams, which is fine as well. This question then, we've got the scale showing the weight of Fred's dog. Again, the scale is exactly the same as for the last question. So we've got the difference between 5 and 6 kilograms is 1 kilogram. The scale is going up in 200 grams or 0.2s. And this time, if we count up in 0.2s, we've got 5.2, 5.4, 5.6 kilograms is the weight of Fred's dog. Okay, Year 6, that's the end of my video for today. If you log into your account on maths.co.uk, we have set some more questions involving converting between different maths. It's between grams and kilograms for you to have a go at. Okay, so I'd like you to have a go at those questions on maths.co.uk now. Fine, you can